Hi everybody, so today I'm going to show you a step-by-step tutorial on something that I teach quite a lot with Sienna X. I'm the regional Sienna X trainer, and we go through this when we do our training, accredited training session, but we get so many people that it's quite a hard thing to sort of grasp the first time you see it. But we're going to go through doing a deep clean of your True Mist Sienna X spray tan machine, and this is something that we would probably recommend, depends on how many spray tans you're doing generally in a week or in a day, but for me personally, being a trainer and also running my own salon, I would say this is kind of my once a month job that I do. I work in the salon 2 to 3 times a week, and the rest of the time I'm doing training. So what I tend to do is once a month I would erect my cubicle if we've got a beautiful sunny day out in the garden, and hose that down, and then take my machines, my True Mist machine, and do a deep clean as I'm going to show you today. What you will need for this is inside your kit that you get when you order your machine, you should get one of these little keys. It's not just a random bit of plastic that we decide to send out to you, it is actually the key that you're going to need to take your machine apart and give it a good clean. So all I would recommend with this is, for a general day-to-day cleaning after you've done each session, each treatment on your customer, is just to fill up your gun. So this is your True Mist gun. Just to fill up your gun with some warm water. Turn the machine on, plug the hose in, turn the machine on, and flush the whole gun through with the warm water. And you can, at the same time as doing that, you can clean your cubicle out as well, and then dry it all down, and then you're ready then for your next client and for your next amount of solution to go in here. If you live in a hard water area, which I do personally, I would say every now and again, sort of every couple of times, you do flush your gun through with water. Just add a tiny bit of antibacterial soap in there, flush it through once with the antibacterial and the water, and then do a final flush through with just some warm water. Just because of the hard water area, it can sort of get more likely to be clogged up. So you will need obviously water at some point, but you're definitely going to need one of these. With your True Mist machine, the front side of the machine here, which is your the direction that your spray is going to come out of, is where you're kind of going to be working mostly to take the machine apart. So first of all, you're going to unscrew this front bit, and that will come apart in 2 pieces. So the front bit comes off, and you'll be able to open it up, and you'll have 2 pieces. So everything you take apart, if you just pop down into a bowl or onto a piece of tissue, then you know you can wash those separately. Then at the side of the True Mist machine, you've got your dial, which is the dial that's the positioning of how the direction that the spray comes out. So if you move this, kind of easy way to show you, up, that should come through that little slit and come out. And that's basically then a whole piece that's taken out. That will then show the front part of your needle that runs through the gun, and it's the needle that's the all important bit that we really want to give a good clean, because if that gets congested and blocked with the DHA and the self-tan, it's going to start spitting. You're going to get all kinds of problems with that. So this is when you're going to then need your key. So your key looks this sort of shape. One end has got like a little crisscrossy section on it, and one end is more like a fatter end. So you're going to use this end to lock it round the front end of your needle. So once it's locked in from the side, give it a pull, and it can be a little bit tough sometimes. Give it a little pull, and as you pull it, that will come out, and it looks like this, and it comes out. So that was sitting on the front. Pull that bit out, and that's another piece to then be cleaned. It will then expose the very front end of your needle, which you've just used this end to take the front bit off. You're now going to turn your key round and use this end. So inside that, you've got like a little crisscross. It's shaped especially to fit round in. You can see that the front end of the needle is like a cross shape. So you're going to fix the front end of the key onto that and give it, and it will lock in place, and you'll be able to, you can only turn it one way because it'll be locked, and you're going to give it roughly about 4 turns until it's loose enough for you to then remove the key. So if you take the key off, you should then, if it's loose enough, be able to just pull that needle out, and that will then expose your needle, which you can then use a sponge and some warm water and just run that along there and make sure it's all clean. Never stick this down on it and try not to drop it, because that will then blunt the end of the needle. That's another piece you can then put down to be clean. So then you're left at the front end of your gun looking like that, so it's got nothing running through it. So the rest of the gun then, this can all come off and be rinsed out, which is where your tan sits, and the rest of the gun can then be washed and wiped over just with a cloth and warm soapy water. Okay, so that's kind of your deep cleanse. So you want a month's sort of job of taking it all apart and giving it a deep cleanse. To put it all back together again, you're basically just going to follow the same procedure that you've just done to take it apart. So you're going to get your needle, pop it into the hole and push it in as far as it will go with your hand, and you're then going to go back to your key and use that front end of the key, lock it in place and turn it until it's tight, so you can't turn it any other direction, it won't go any further. And that's then locked, and that will then expose the front end of your gun. Take your little silver piece of your front end of your needle, and that then locks on the front. Push it so it can't go any further. You're then going to get your grey little dial. Incidentally, you'll know if you get this on the wrong way, because that's the right way and you always want the dial facing downwards for the true mist. If you put it on the wrong way and you put it on back to front, when you slide it in, obviously the dial won't go down any further, so you know you've got it on the right way if you can put it in and the dial goes down. And then you should then just be left with your two pieces that you took off at the very beginning, which were the two front ends of your machine. So one can go inside the other, so it locks in place, and then you can screw that back on again. And that is it. All done, all clean, all ready to go again. So you've also got, as part of your deep clean, is at the front end of your True Mist machine, there's a little circular sponge that you'll see right at the front of the machine, and that is your filter. So as part of your deep clean, I would take your filter out. You should get a spare one in with your kit, and just if you just hold it over underneath the warm tap with warm water running out, you'll see all the tan sort of coming away from it. Rinse it out, give it a good squeeze out, and then that can sit out and that can air dry for a day. I tend to do mine on a Sunday because I know I'm not working on a Sunday doing spray tanning or training, and it can all be air dried and then replace that. That filter needs to be changed regularly as well, because if it's not cleaned and washed out, that will become so sodden with the actual tan that it won't be doing its job, and that filter is really important because that's going to filter through any airborne DHA as well, any of your spray tan. So I hope you found that beneficial. It's something that I got asked a lot about. I have done another YouTube video on how to do a deep clean of your True spray machine and how to put it all back together again as well. This was a deep clean of the True Mist. Let me know your comments and feedback. Let me know how you get on with it. Any questions, please leave at the end, and I will link up my blog and my website on here so you can check out all the rest of my beauty blogs. So thanks for watching, enjoy the rest of your day, and I'll see you all soon. Cheers, bye.